77 days until a clash with Croatia in Dallas, and in the battle for a small number of spots in Thomas Tuchel's England squad, the last two games have thrown up more questions than answers. The draw against Uruguay and defeat by Japan should focus minds ahead of the season run-in, when a few still remain on trial before Tuchel announces his 26 heading off to the World Cup. Tuchel experimented with different players and gave new caps across the two friendlies, and opinions on who should make the squad will vary wildly up and down the country. Here, Daily Mail Sport looks at the runners and riders, who is certain of their spot among our picks and which talents are nervously looking over their shoulders. On the plane. By my reckoning, there are 21 guaranteed spots among the squad. Thomas Tuchel claimed after Japan that he had clarity on some, but in truth, on many players we are yet to reach a definitive conclusion. Uruguay last week and then Tuesday night only served to further indicate the major drop-off between England's very best, Harry Kane, Declan Rice, and the rest. The level of performance without the main protagonists was another eye-opener. Tuchel is correct when he says any team in world football would miss Kane, yet it became even clearer over 5 days how integral it is England manage him properly in America. One wrong move, one injury scare, and the goal-scoring threat disappears. The defensive areas seem to have sorted themselves out in a far more controlled fashion. 8 would definitely make my squad, while remaining mindful of the fitness issues surrounding John Stones after the Manchester City defender pulled up with a calf problem. The same goes for Reece James, while Harry Maguire has to earn a spot despite the manager's suggestions to the contrary a few days ago. 3 goalkeepers, Jordan Pickford, Dean Henderson and James Trafford, should all be there. Alongside Rice, Jude Bellingham and Elliot Anderson are certainties. Morgan Rogers will push for a start and Jordan Henderson acts as the everyman who did impress against Uruguay. That is 16 down. Now it becomes interesting. Definite, non-negotiables are Kane, Anthony Gordon, Eberechi Eze, Bukayo Saka. Tuchel loves Noni Madueke, so for the sake of argument he is in there too. Goalkeepers, Jordan Pickford, Dean Henderson, James Trafford. Defenders, Mark Guehi, Lewis Hall, Ezri Konsa, Tino Livramento, Harry Maguire, Nico O'Reilly, John Stones, Reece James. Midfielders, Elliot Anderson, Jude Bellingham, Jordan Henderson, Declan Rice, Morgan Rogers. Forwards, Harry Kane, Anthony Gordon, Eberechi Eze, Bukayo Saka, Noni Madueke. In the departure lounge. Standing room only in here. Overly crowded and everybody's hot and bothered, waiting to hear if it's their name called from the standby list. For a squad that looked well set a fortnight ago, requiring a couple of them to just turn it on slightly in one of 2 friendlies, there's a state of confusion abound. No fewer than 17 stars are left wondering what may happen to them. Some due to a dip in performance, others because they've unexpectedly risen to prominence. Are the March friendlies really the time to be tinkering? Whatever you may think of that, it's happened and means the pool of who could head to that pre-tournament camp in Florida has grown. These 17 are now split in 2, with 12 still holding realistic hopes of going to fill just 4 spots in our team. First at the back, DJ Spence and Ben White wondering if they can force a way beyond any of the 4 full backs picked. White has to have a chance, Otherwise putting him through Wembley's jeering will have proven a fruitless exercise. Either could stake a claim if we choose 9 defenders, which is likely what Tuchel will go for but may be overly cautious for our squad. Trevoh Chalobah has been talked up. Central midfield is interesting and James Garner is a little bit of a joker in this respect. Able to play right back too and having impressed on Friday, he made a late dash through security and could alter how many defenders are named. Did Kobbie Mainoo really do enough, exposed for Japan's winner? Tuchel has reservations over Adam Wharton but we like his ability to pick a lock. Then the forwards. Dominic Solanke is the like-for-like Kane replacement but doesn't carry anywhere near the same threat. Perhaps a Kane-less England ought to try a different approach, as had been the plan with Phil Foden and Cole Palmer filling the central striker positions on Tuesday. Both Foden and Palmer appeared to flatter to deceive on their final audition. There seems to be an expectation that both should be regularly beating 5 men and stick at top corner. Palmer doesn't seem fit, Foden's confidence on the floor. The former gave away too much cheap ball and the latter's nice knitting of play is only noticeable if he then does damage in little pockets of space. Neither came away from the camp having enhanced their chances, especially in the court of public opinion, while there should also be a question mark over Marcus Rashford. Lively on Friday without having created much and it must be a worry that he's started only one of Barcelona's last 8 games. All told, Ollie Watkins didn't have such a bad international week, did he? Defenders. DJ Spence, Ben White, Trevoh Chalobah. Midfielders. Adam Wharton, Kobbie Mainoo, James Garner. Forwards. Marcus Rashford, Jared Bowen, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, Dominic Solanke, Ollie Watkins.